Good night, everyone. Today is the 15th of April, the year 2020, the year of blessings, the year of great struggles at this time, and especially this month of April. However, today we have a powerful message, gospel message, which is given in a story of disciples on their way to Emmaus. And it is so amazing that the disciples on their way to Emmaus, this is after Jesus' death, somehow they didn't expect that he was going to resurrect, even if he did say it. And so the disciples are worried, and what they were sharing on their way to Emmaus is a disappointment, trying also to blame those who had killed Jesus. But what we find in that commotion is the power of the Word. The Word of God possesses power that none can overcome it. We see that the disciples were burning in their hearts when Jesus appeared to them on the way to Emmaus. However, they were blind because of fear, because of doubts, to listen to his words and to recognize him. So we can see that the Word of God possesses so much power. There is a transformation that you get from the Word of God. There's a renewal that you get from the Word of God. This Word of God burns like a fire from those who have possessed it. And it is easier many a time to experience people who know the Word of God and somehow actualize it by living it out, because the Word of God must be made incarnate. It must become flesh. It must be actualized in our daily lives. As we know very well that from the letter to James, it is said that faith without works is dead. So our words must be actualized. And even if they are to be words, they have to make sense. They must bring a sort of transformation to those who hear them. And this is the power we have, having the Word of God amongst us. A word that we can feed on, especially at this time of coronavirus. It is a word that we can depend on. It's a word that can give us hope. So take some time, take a break from your daily tasks, and especially at this time we have maybe a little more time than usual, and study the Word of God. Read the Word of God. Read it thoroughly. Read it and seek to understand it. Read it and seek for means how you can actualize it. I'm very much impressed and inspired by one of the real story from Kenya. This is a couple from Kenya who is in their 30s and realizing that the landlord had pushed this family out, nearly to a family of 10. They decided to take them in, even though the shopping they had done was just a monthly shopping. And so this guy was moved with pity. His name is Kilu. And he decided that he was going to take this couple with him in his yard, in his house. So currently and at this moment, they're taking care of this family. And only to realize that he's getting shortage of food now. And he has a debt actually for 10,000 that they own from their landlord. And this is to show how much when we share the little that we have, how God becomes a blessing to us. And I am expecting that this man will be blessed from now henceforth. He's storing his treasures. He's storing his treasures to someone who cannot repay them back. But the reality is that all this will come back to him. If not now, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, later. If not later, it will come back to his children's children. This is the hope that we need at this time. This is the keeping of the word incarnate that we need at this time. The word of God must be actualized so that it can make sense to us. And especially at this time when people have great suffering and are in great struggles. So let us treasure the word of God. Whether we are Muslims, whether we are Christians, whether we are atheists, this is a time that the word of God must be more fruitful than even before. And I'm encouraged to hear that the Bibles have been bought in great numbers. This gives me an assurance that someone, somewhere, have a great desire for God, have a great desire for the word of God. So it is my prayer that this will continue to be true to me and to all of us. The word of God remains.